January.
Hello.
Hey, Amanda.
Welcome back.
Amanda, how are you?
Thank you.
Yeah. how are you doing, Amanda?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, we're very well, thank you. We're so happy to have you today, eh?
I'm excited. Sure, I've been watching all of your adverts and seeing what you're doing, and it looks so cool. So when you asked me, I was like, ooh, I get to be part of this now.
Yes. No. Okay. No, so I think we can just start. Yeah.
Yes, definitely we can start. Should we have more people joining? I'll just keep muting them in the background.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
maybe we should spend until like at least 5 past, Shane.
Oh, no problem.
No, it's fine. The only thing is that we only get 40 minutes, and then after 40 minutes we get kicked out, and then we have to just start, because also what's very important is the content that we share here, as the meetings are recorded, and so people can then catch up later. Sometimes we do have a large number of people, sometimes we have a few people. We've had a session where it's just us, and it's still just what the information that is shared that is.
Okay, no, that's cool. I'm ready whenever you are.
Yeah.
So welcome. This is the Lockdown Chat with Nos and Mbuyi. This is where we talk about all the effects of lockdown in different various industries. And this time we decided, let's take a look at our communities, because we are about rebuilding each other and looking for opportunities. But we know that on the ground, our communities are very important, youth-led. So we wanted to focus more on social entrepreneurship, and then later on at 5 p.m. we have women empowerment. So very happy to have a woman as well for social entrepreneurship, and we just have a cast of powerful females with us. So Amanda, welcome to the Lockdown Chat.
Thank you so much.
If I can pass on to Mbuyi to take over and introduce our guest today.
Yes. Thank you so much, Nos, and thank you to Amanda. I also see that we've been joined by Utandega, if I'm not mistaken. I would like to start off like this. The nonprofit sector continues to grow rapidly in Africa and across the world. And in South Africa alone, we've got more than 100,000 social nonprofit organizations that are registered. And also the social enterprises, which includes NGOs and NPCs, are key actors in responding to poverty, inequality, and also they play a leading role in providing health and education. However, most of them, they rely on funding from various organizations, most of which are in the private sector. And right now, at this point, most of those organizations are facing the issue of having to retrench some of their employees. But the big question right now is that will they be able to continue funding the non-profit organizations? On today's show, we will assess the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on social enterprises, the tools that they're using to mitigate these challenges, and also the new normal as we are going forward for NGOs and NPCs. So today on the show, we've been joined by the amazing Amanda Blankful-Kosef, who is the CEO and the founder of Empowerment Trust. She is also a member. She did not mention this in her bio, but she's also a member of the inaugural class of leaders of Africa in the Obama Foundation, and also has many accolades to her name. Welcome on the show, Amanda. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mbuyi. Do we clap?
It's a silent clap on my side.
but Amanda, thank you so much once again for joining us. But how is the lockdown treating you as just as Amanda, aside from Amanda, the social entrepreneur and a businesswoman, but how is the lockdown treating you in the whole pandemic of the whole COVID-19 pandemic?
So the COVID pandemic, obviously, it's a terrible situation the world is in. Every single country is affected. There's no one that's immune from it. Some countries have reacted better than others. Some have managed it better than others. But in the end, we're all in this together, which I think is quite interesting as a study. Like in a few years' time, everyone's going to be studying this time and seeing how people reacted to it and how countries dealt with it and how it affected the way life is going to continue from now on. So it is an interesting time we're living in, and it will not be the same as before. Like there's going to be a new normal. It's not going to be the same normal as we've had, and it's going to have some benefits and some, challenges, obviously. And it's all up to us of how we react to the situation. It's in our control how we react. It's not in our control what happens to us. We can't control reality. Reality is reality. But if we react in a negative way, then reality is going to be worse for us. If we react in a positive way, it's going to be better for us. So it's always good to have the right perspective, whatever situation you're in. So personally, what I've been doing is I've been using this opportunity of lockdown to do a lot of personal development, a lot of work on myself. I'm doing meditation and mindfulness. I'm working a lot on my creativity because I'm very into creativity, Mbuyi, and I've written songs together. So we're very into the music side of it, but also creativity, like things that I haven't had time to do before, like baking. Like I've never baked before. So I'm trying to do that. Knitting. I haven't knitted since I was in primary school. Doing those coloring in books. The adult you draw like pictures and you just color in and you make pretty things, like things like that have kept me busy, kept me stimulated, learn new things, doing online courses. So many online resources. There's access to things that we'd never be able to see fundraiser. So other ones that were there before that have pivoted their role to make it more related to what's happening now, like the food security situation. And then there's also NGOs that have already been doing that are continuing what they're doing. And they're all asking for help and support, and the community is getting more involved. So I think that's one positive of it, is that people are finally waking up and seeing that the inequality is not sustainable, that we all have to do something, we all have to play a role. We can't just say, no, that's government's issue, let them sort it out, we'll just sit here and be happy. No, actually, we all have to play a role, whatever we can do. If you have money to give, that's fine. If you have time to give, if you have resources to give, whatever it is, be involved and take action. Stop sitting around and complaining. That's my big thing about this that I'm enjoying, is seeing people actually doing something. Empowervate is all about taking action. It's all about making the change, not just talking. So that's my little bit on that.
Wow. Thank you so much, Amanda. And I've also noticed that I remember you hosted a webinar, I think 2 weeks ago, where you were empowering people. I think it was about drafting a proposal for funding, if I'm not mistaken. And that's also amazing that you're also using this time to also empower others. Just a bit, just tell us more. I'm sure Nos does not know much about Empowervate as I do, but she's seen the stuff that we've been doing. But can you tell us about Empowervate, what you're doing, and also Youth Citizens Action Program?
Okay, great, thank you. So YCAP stands for the Youth Citizens Action Program. So that's YCAP. And YCAP actually started in 2009 when I was working at another NGO. It actually came about quite organically. We'd actually hosted a youth development talk show, like to talk about what youth can do to make a change in the country. And then the young people came up with beautiful ideas of how they wanted to fix things. And they were so motivated, and we had motivational speakers, and they were excited. And then they went home and nothing happened. And I said to the managers of that NGO, this thing as a talk shop is not really doing anything of value. Can we change it into an action program? Can we actually empower young people to make change right now where they are at school? Now, why must I wait until they're adults to make change? Why must I sit around and see adults doing things that are not helping, or not doing things that would be helping? So they said, fine, go for it. Let's see what happens. So I got together with a group of different stakeholders and people in youth development, people in government, and we sat down and we decided the best thing to do is to provide a toolkit that says step by step, how do you run a project? How do you actually run something that you can, as a team, put together a plan of action, a budget, fundraise, and then actually make this thing happen, to make a change right now where you are. So we did that, and then we said, okay, that's fine, but now how are we going to make people do it? Because unfortunately, human nature is you have to be motivated to do something. You're not just going to do extra work if it's just there, like, let's do extra stuff. So we said, well, the best motivator is a competition, because people want to put their best foot forward. They want to win, they want that prestige of being the winner. But while they're on the journey towards that, ultimate goal that only a few can get, they will learn. And they will grow, and they'll be empowered, and they'll want to use those skills and other things. So that's how it started in 2009. And then in 2013, this thing had grown into its own different style of thinking. It was not matching what that NGO was doing. So I said, can I take it out of this NGO and start my own to run it as its own program? And they said, you have our blessing, go for it. So that's when Empowervate was born in 2013. And Empowervate stands for empower and motivate. As I said, you need both of them. You need to be empowered and motivated to make change. So from 2013 onwards, it was under the banner of Empowervate. And the whole program is around getting young people to be excited about making change and about making themselves service leaders, not all about themselves. Because I see a lot of programs in schools specifically around entrepreneurship that's only about making money. Let's get rich, let's make money. So I didn't want that to be the goal of this. I wanted to be a social entrepreneurship program, a program that encourages young people to make positive change in their communities and help people while making some money so that they can employ more people and help themselves, in the future. These are skills that lead towards that. So to start off with, they get a toolkit that explains how to run the project. They have to form a team, and then they have to go through each of the steps. There's 10 steps, and each step explains to them how to identify a problem, what problems are there and what are we going to work on, and then how to actually find solutions and action those solutions. And then at the end, they have to measure the impact and sustainability of what they've done. So that all comes together in a portfolio of evidence. And then there's an oral competition as well, where they have to present what they've done. It's like a pitching, when you're pitching for business, when you're pitching to get funding, it's very good training for that. And the portfolio is like a business plan. So that is all training for the future, but they can actually make change now. And once you've made change, it doesn't matter how small, you get inspired and you want to make more change. So that's why people like Mbuyi, who've gone through the program and come out and, he's so successful, he's doing so well, you can see that has actually put a spark. That program sparked him into thinking, wow, I can actually achieve more, I can do more, I can help more people. And that's exactly what the program's about. It's saying that you actually have the potential to be great. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what background you're from. You can make your life great, whoever you are, wherever you're from. So that's what we do.
Beautiful, beautiful. I'm loving that. Can I ask what are some of the communities that you actually work with? Where are they, and where are the schools and the youth that you actually work with?
Okay, so we operate across the country in partnership with the Department of Basic Education. We work with them as our implementation partners because they have the reach, to get to every single community. We've got schools that are in very rural areas that are part of the program, schools that are in townships, schools in urban areas across the board. And we've got, last year we had about 400 schools that took part and about 4,000 learners in total. So those are the ones who are actively involved in managing the program, but they also got other learners and other stakeholders in their communities involved. So it's actually more than that. But if you look at direct beneficiaries, it's about 4,000 that had taken part in the program in 2019. So every year we get new schools, and we have the current ones as well, that some of them continue every single year. And it's beautiful to see that, because some schools have been there from the beginning, and every year they do new projects and make more change, and they're seen as the leaders of change in their schools. So people want to be in that team. It's quite competitive to get into the YCAP team. And we like that because it proves that doing good can actually get you far in life. You don't have to be the class clown. You don't have to be the gangster, the bully to get recognition and attention. So that's where we operate and how we do it.
I love how you say that. I've had conversations like that as well when we look at influential people amongst the youth. That everyone has great energy, but it's how you choose to use that energy. And when you have a collective of people, especially young, energetic people, either they use it for a negative influence, which usually does get a lot of attention, or they turn it into something positive, as what you're doing with the organization. But from the schools, what have you seen with some of the children, especially the powerful leaders? Where have you seen them going? Do you continue?
You mean during the program or after?
After the program.
Okay, so I've seen, as I said, Mbuyi is one of the alumni. We've got a lot of alumni that have actually gone through the program and then come back and said, we want to be part of this, and we want to give back to other learners and get them on the same program and let them get the benefit of it. So I've seen a lot of those people have done so well. They've graduated, they've got whatever profession they want to get into, whether it's law, we've got psychology, all different professions. And firstly, while they are studying, while they go to university, they become pioneers wherever they are. Like they start different programs, they start doing outreach, they start doing mentorship. So things that they wouldn't have done if they hadn't done the YCAP program, because they wouldn't have thought of it, wouldn't have even occurred to them. Why should I be doing that? But now, because the mindset is there, that they can be change agents wherever they go, that's when they start doing that. And a lot of those alumni have also come back and said that they actually using the skills that they learned, you know, continuing on. They've learned skills that they can use for anything. It's not just for that program. You know, a lot of them also are doing a lot of outreach work. Like I know some small NGOs that have come out of it. We just actually spoke about one of them yesterday from the Northwest province. He started his own NGO that's also helping people. So that mentality of helping people and growing and being the leader and being the change agent continues throughout everyone's life once they've realized they can do it. So we actually want to create a revolution. You know, let's make everyone active citizens. It shouldn't only be a few people, and it should be the people who are doing it for the right reason. You know, the positive, as I said, the positive influences, not the negative ones. Like, you know, the celebrity culture, like, oh, just because you're famous, it means you know what you're talking about and you're great. Look at what they're actually doing and you'll see a different story. And just have, you know, fancy things and show off our cars and show off our houses, because life's not actually about that. That doesn't make you happy. There's actually a course called the Science of Well-Being that's run by Yale University, which is one of the free courses that I did now on Coursera. And they said, actually, you think that that's going to make you happy, but it doesn't. What makes you happy is helping other people. What makes you happy is being grateful. You know, those things make you happy, not actually being rich. You know, there are a lot of rich people who are very miserable. So that's the whole mentality we're trying to also change. And it's doing that. They are in communities across the country. We've got about 40 active alumni that are on our WhatsApp group. And we always say to them, you know, keep going, keep doing it. You know, even if you spread the word to 10 people, that's 10 people that didn't know about this. And now they're becoming positive influences as well. And it just grows like that.